Good evening, good morning, good night, in that order. This is our reaction to the men's NCAA bracket that was just
released.
Yes, Selection Sunday, March Madness, whatever you call it. We are going to have a bracket challenge. We'll give you guys the details below, invite you all to that. But let's get the reaction. Ian, quick hits.
So yes, happy dancing to all. I just got done watching the big reveal on CBS, and we have quite the 68 team spread. So let's get into it. Quick hits.
Number one
overall number one team is Gonzaga out of the West. They were the consensus AP poll number one, and no shock here, they held that throughout the season. The other number one seeds are Arizona, Kansas, and Baylor.
Okay, not any unusual names there.
Nope, pretty common names. Baylor, as you recall, astute listeners, was last year's champion. Yeah. So they are back in the thick of it. The perennial last four in, kind of one of the bracketology's specials. Wyoming, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, and Rutgers were the last four in. Some of those teams are dancing because of the conference championships and the shuffle therein. The unfortunate first four out, my thing says Michigan, but they actually made it in. So anyway, pivoting on the fly here.
Whoops, notes.
Xavier, SMU, and BYU, though, are three teams who are not dancing. And I just remember, folks, from the back of my brain here, that Dayton Flyers were the one of the first four teams out.
You put Michigan there because foreshadowing. You probably think they shouldn't be there, right?
Yeah, big asterisk there with the Wolverines. Anyway, to finalize our quick hits, we're just going to give you the number two seeds just to round it out. Baylor in the South, last year's champion. Kentucky Wildcats, no shock there, number two from the East. The Purdue Boilermakers, number two Midwest. And finally, the Duke Blue Devils. A name we have all heard year after year after year after year. Number two out of the West.
Perennial contenders every year. Maybe Purdue, not as much, but the rest of them, any given year. Yeah.
Plug and play, cut and paste. Anyway.
So what conference is representing the most?
So conference breakdown. This is a one that all the sports heads love to play around with. The
I'm not
Big
sure what
Ten.
It means, but we talk about
it.
So,
we love it. We love this number. The Big Ten has 9 teams, essentially every team from the Big Ten. There are more than 10 teams in the Big Ten, but nonetheless, essentially all of them are dancing. SEC, Big East, Big 12. Maybe the surprise there is the ACC with 5. Compared to the Big Ten, that's kind of a big disparity. And then you have the
everybody else, right?
The conferences that most people can't don't know who they are. The WCC, I don't know what that is. The American Atlantic 10,
Pac-12, 2 or 3 apiece there.
They got a few in. They are, the MAC has one because the championship. you get one in there, so you get a freebie. Surprises.
Yeah, what do you got?
Let's roll into the surprises. This year, maybe more than ever before, non-conference schedule strength played a big role. It allowed a number of teams that on paper don't have that great of a record, 17 and 14, to get into the tournament.
Is that just then humans applying their bias, basically?
Yeah, I mean, for a while they've said teams make sure that your non-conference games, you're not putting daisies down. You're actually playing real opponents. Some teams maybe didn't make it in because they didn't have the strength of schedule. Although when you schedule teams, you don't know how good they are. I mean, you do, you don't.
I mean, yes and no, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. But maybe the anti-surprise is what we kind of were talking about at the top of the hour. Top 4 teams in each bracket. They seem pretty much set a month ago. Conference championships and the last month of play didn't seem to change too much.
It's 68, 64, 68 teams. Really, it's like 16 teams.
Any number.
Right? 16 is the number for real. But
if you ask somebody who really knows basketball, name 10 teams, they're going to name 10 teams. Those teams are probably in. The committee really values the Big Ten schedule strength, obviously.
Clearly.
They basically they all beat themselves up playing each other twice. Right. And maybe 2 more surprises. Michigan, we may be somewhat local to the state, but 17 and 14, probably not deserving. Biggest snub, Tennessee is going, but they probably should have been a number 2 seed.
And what do they end up at? That's a 3 seed, right?
A 3 seed. So
my big surprise is I'm not going to have any surprises. My comment is the higher seed generally wins. So you'll see that in my predictions. What are your top 3 upset predictions, Ian?
Upset predictions.
Here it is. This is where the money's made, right?
A couple things here. Virginia Tech, they're an 11 seed, which basically shows that they needed to win the championship to get in. I think they're fired up. I think they're going to go pretty far.
Yep.
Best prediction in terms of names. We have the Murray State Racers versus the San Francisco Dons. I mean, that's pretty legendary. The Racers, the Dons and the Racers.
Yeah.
But then in terms of actual game, I have Ohio State over Wisconsin. Okay. That would be a pretty big upset.
My upsets are not that big of an upset. I have UCLA over Baylor, so that's my number 1 seed.
4-1,
is going to go out. Yep.
1 seed drops.
And then in the first round, Loyola over Ohio State. I don't know, just picking something. 10-7 there, so not very bold.
10-7 is not much. 10-7 will happen. There will be one or two.
It might happen 3 times, 4 times.
8, yeah. So
like I said, the seeding, it matters. So
the seeding matters.
Yes.
But it also matters how good a team you are.
We're not going to go through every single game, but the final 4 and overall winner predictions. I'm going to go first, Ian.
Please do.
I have Gonzaga, Kentucky, Arizona, and Kansas as my final 4, with the overall winner being bold choice here, Gonzaga over Kansas.
Gonzaga.
Yes.
Okay.
So Kentucky's my 2 seed in there, because even though I have UCLA,
good.
You don't have all UCLA. So yeah, real bold. I know. What about you?
For me, I think Gonzaga has come to the tournament several times in the past couple years as the best team.
Yeah.
They have not left as the winning team. My pick for this year is Gonzaga. I know it echoes your pick. But hey, if they don't win, some other 1 or 2 seeds going to, basically. So final 4, Gonzaga, Purdue, Villanova, and Kansas.
And Villanova. Okay.
So a little bit of difference.
More exciting than mine.
I think that the 3 seed Purdue is the lowest.
Yeah.
But I think usually a top 4 team generally wins this thing. So
okay.
Our Cinderella story prediction, bringing the Disney in. I have a few. I'm going to have Vermont, the Catamounts, in my Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite a Cinderella in terms of the seeding, but a small school nonetheless. St. Mary's I have in the Elite 8.
I feel like St. Mary's always does well.
They always do well, but not quite like
better than expected, but not.
Yes, better than expected. UAB in the Elite 8, they're, I believe, 12 or 13 seed.
Okay.
And then the Mocs of Chattanooga. I love a good name.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
how you
underdog story.
All your wins.
My Racers and Dons.
The mascot, basically, right?
So,
my Cinderella story is there's no pumpkins this year. I don't believe in Cinderella stories. So yeah, sorry. It's just
Godmother's.
I like to pick one, but if I'm actually picking it for my real bracket, I'm not picking one. So I have no prediction for those.
To keep your bracket intact, you're going to forgo the Cinderella.
I'm playing for the win. I'm playing for the bracket
challenge.
That. So I'm being honest, Other thoughts,
final thoughts.
Here's my suggestion: 64 teams, 68 teams. Throw it out the window. Every team gets in. Every team. Quick Google search tells me there's 358 college teams. That seems.
So you know how many games that would mean?
Probably means like 2 more weekends, right?
357 games. Take the number -1. That's how many games you play.
There you go. Clever.
So that would be a really big bracket.
And let's disagree. The first 2 weekends are all anybody cares about, unless there's a Cinderella team playing or your team is still alive, right? That's the excitement. So
yep, the excitement is if you have a team, and we don't really have a team. So for me, a couple things came into play. After they wrapped the bracket, they went into their COVID issues. They mentioned there are 4 teams on standby as replacement teams.
So
we're going to be basically traveling to the site, kind of being kept out of the limelight in case there's an issue. And then, as I was watching the show, the whole conference championship thing came up.
Yeah, which game do you actually care about more? I feel like
do we need them? Are they unnecessary? Some just have the regular season champion.
Yeah.
If you play everyone twice, home and away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's representation of the teams. Basically it's like 2 tournaments back to back. They're super smushed in there. It's like over 3 days, you play 3 games maybe.
The conference championship is the one you want to win. That's the one if you're not going to go pro, that's what you're playing for. And then I feel like the tournament is just like
it's a nice trophy,
unless you're like a number 1 seed. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it basically also creates the issue where you have a team that isn't really deserving of making it in, but just happens to get hot a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
And then someone else doesn't get in, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's no golden ticket for this.
Those are our picks.
Yeah, so
those
be sure
to
join our
reactions.
We'll have a bracket challenge.
Yeah,
that'll be in the description. Who knows? Well, we do know. This year we will not have a perfect bracket. It's on paper. It seems like it's doable.
It's
like, not a lot of clicks, but it's just
I'll put this out there. If I win the perfect bracket, Ian, I will take you out for a nice steak dinner. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
As always, follow, subscribe, like, comment, all the above. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Join our bracket challenge. Maybe there'll be a special
more the merrier.
prize.
More the merrier. Perhaps a prize. Definitely
not committing to that. Yeah, definitely a shout out.
And recognition for sure.
Yes.
So let's count it out. This has been 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it.
Reacts.
Off key.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The content in this podcast is not intended to be a research report, financial, or life advice, and does not constitute an endorsement of any product, service, individual, or organization.